Many people think creating a budget is just about tracking expenses, but it's so much more than that. A budget isn't just a tool, it's a strategy that puts you in control of your financial future. It's not about limiting yourself. It's about making smarter decisions so you can live the life you want without the stress of wondering where your money went. Take someone like Warren Buffett, for example. He didn't get to where he is by just saving a little here and there. He mastered the art of financial management and made decisions that compounded his wealth over time. He learned the power of budgeting long before his billions, and it paid off in ways that transformed his entire life. Are you ready to do the same? Well, let's get started. In this video, we're breaking down the step-by-step process to create a budget that works so you can finally take control of your money stress-free. Let's jump into it. Start with the basics. Know what you earn. The first step in creating an effective budget is understanding how much money you're bringing in each month. It sounds obvious, but many people don't have a clear grasp on their income. So let's fix that right away. Whether you're working a 9-to-5 job, freelancing, or running your own business, you need to know exactly how much money is coming in each month. Look at your pay stubs, your freelance income, or any other side hustles that contribute to your overall income. If your income fluctuates, make sure to calculate an average amount for the month. You can use the highest or lowest month as a baseline, depending on your financial goals. Knowing exactly what you have to work with is essential because everything else in your budget will be based on this number. If you don't have clarity on your income, you'll end up making a budget based on assumptions, and that's a quick way to fail. 9. List your expenses. Now that you know what you're earning, it's time to figure out what you're spending. This is where things get real. If you've never tracked your expenses before, you might be shocked at how quickly things add up. Start by writing down all your fixed expenses. These are the bills that you know you'll have to pay every month. Your rent or mortgage, utilities, car payments, insurance premiums, and so on. Don't forget about those regular monthly expenses like phone bills or subscriptions to streaming services. List every recurring expense. Once you've listed your fixed expenses, it's time to look at your variable expenses. These can vary month to month. Things like groceries, entertainment, eating out, and other personal purchases. For a more accurate view, you can review your last 2 or 3 months of bank statements to track your spending habits. This exercise will give you a much clearer picture of where your money's going. 8. Separate fixed and variable expenses. At this point, you should have a solid list of all your expenses, but it's important to break them down into 2 categories, fixed and variable. Fixed expenses are the things you pay every month, and they tend to stay the same. These expenses are usually non-negotiable. Things like your rent, car payment, and insurance. Variable expenses are the ones that fluctuate from month to month. For example, your grocery bill might vary depending on what you buy, or your entertainment expenses might change depending on whether you go out more or stay in. The key here is to identify which expenses are flexible and which ones you can't avoid. Why does this matter? Because once you know what's flexible, your variable expenses, you can figure out where you might have room to make adjustments. You'll be able to see where you're spending too much and where cutting back will have the biggest impact. 7. Track your spending. Tracking your spending is one of the most important steps when creating a budget. Knowing what you're spending in real time is crucial to staying on top of your finances. There are plenty of ways to track your spending, using budgeting apps like Mint, YNAB, you need a budget, or even simple spreadsheets can help. The key is to make it a habit to log every expense. It doesn't matter if it's a $2 coffee or a $50 shopping spree, track it. By doing this, you'll gain insight into areas where you're overspending. Maybe you didn't realize how much you were eating out, or how many subscriptions you were paying for and barely using. Tracking everything allows you to catch those small leaks before they turn into big problems. 6. Set realistic goals. Once you've got a handle on what's coming in and going out, it's time to set some goals. Without a goal, a budget is just a set of numbers on a page. It's the goals that give your budget purpose. Think about what you want to achieve with your money. Do you want to save for an emergency fund, pay down debt, build up your savings for a big purchase or trip? Whatever it is, make sure your goals are specific and realistic. For instance, instead of saying, I want to save more money. Set a concrete goal like, I will save $300 each month for the next 3 months to build my emergency fund. This goal is measurable, and it gives you something to work towards. Make sure your goals are realistic. If you're just starting out with budgeting, don't aim to save 50% of your income right away. Start small and build up over time. Success is all about setting achievable targets. 5. Create categories for your budget. Now that you've got your goals in mind, it's time to organize your expenses into categories. This will help you see where your money is going and where you can make changes. Start by grouping your expenses into broad categories. These might include housing, rent or mortgage, utilities, transportation, car payment, gas, public transportation, food, groceries, dining out, debt repayment, credit cards, loans, entertainment, subscriptions, activities, hobbies, savings, emergency fund, retirement, investment. This organization allows you to quickly identify which categories are eating up the most of your income and where you can make adjustments. 4. Prioritize needs over wants. The next step is critical. Prioritize your needs over your wants. When you're on a budget, it's easy to fall into the trap of overspending on things that aren't necessary. Sure, it's fun to buy new clothes or grab takeout every night, but those things shouldn't be your priority. Start by ensuring your essential needs, like housing, food, and transportation, are covered. Once these are in place, you can focus on your goals and save for things that really matter. Cutting back on wants can free up money that you can direct toward your savings or debt repayment. The key is to be honest with yourself about what's essential and what's just a luxury. 3. Set a realistic savings goal. One of the biggest reasons to create a budget is to save money. But how much should you save? A common rule of thumb is to aim for saving 20% of your income. But this can vary depending on your financial situation. If saving 20% of your income feels impossible right now, that's okay. Start with a smaller goal, like saving $50 or $100 each month. The important thing is to get into the habit of saving regularly. You can always increase the amount over time as you get more comfortable with your budget. Make sure you treat your savings like a fixed expense. Pay yourself first, just like you would pay your rent or bills. Set up automatic transfers to a separate savings account if possible, so you're less tempted to spend that money. 2. Review and adjust monthly. Your budget isn't a one-time project. It's a living, breathing tool that needs to be reviewed regularly. At the end of each month, take some time to review your spending and see if you met your savings goal. Did you overspend in any categories? Are there places where you can cut back? It's normal for things to change, and your budget should reflect that. Maybe you didn't spend as much on entertainment this month, or you had to adjust your grocery budget because prices went up. The goal is to be flexible and make sure your budget is still working for you. Revisit your categories, goals, and priorities, and make adjustments as needed. 1. Stay consistent and be patient. The most important part of any budget is consistency. It takes time to build good financial habits, and it won't happen overnight. You might slip up, and that's okay. The key is to stay consistent and keep going. If you find yourself going over budget in certain categories, don't give up. Review your spending, adjust your goals, and keep moving forward. Over time, you'll get better at managing your money, and sticking to your budget will become second nature. And there you have it, a simple step-by-step guide to creating a budget that works for you. Remember, budgeting is all about taking control of your money and making sure it's working for you. Stay consistent, review your progress, and don't be afraid to make adjustments along the way. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share it with a friend who could use some budgeting tips, and don't forget to subscribe for more easy-to-follow finance tips. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your budget. You've got this.